Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Mario Kart Central Twitch channel. Welcome to Division 1 Finals of Atlas League Season 2. NE versus BUZ, my team, my kingdom. 8 teams in Division 1, and we're left with these final two. My name is Nathaniel. I'm joined by Top Hat Bear. Top Hat, how are you doing today, mate?
I am doing fantastic. Chief of which is because I get to watch and commentate this amazing finals matchup we have right now. I'm so excited for this. Both these teams are crazy. They've had crazy seasons, way different routes to get here, but in the end, they're both here in the finals, and we're both here getting to spectate them.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking to be a phenomenal clash of titans between two teams. Just very quick in the Twitch chat, we do have a prediction running of who is going to win, I believe, who is going to win match 1. Drop your channel points in the predictions, whether you think that NE, or BUZ are going to win. But let's go over the teams. Both very different walks of life, both very different approaches from and to the community, starting with any lineup consisting of Cormo, Liam, Lolandia, Popoff, who is the leader of the team, alongside Starlo and Vela. We will be watching Popoff's POV for this stream. Starlo being the head boss manager of the entire thing, and this has pretty much just been their standard lineup ever since week 3 of Atlas League. Week 3 and onwards, they've pretty much been fielding this lineup. They've only had 2 losses throughout the entire season, one to Opt, one to Arcadia Sky. Very strong lineup. All of these players, High Diamond, Master, maybe even Grandmaster as well, in the MK World Lounge server. Nothing but just a stacked roster through and through.
I mean, yeah, this is a super team. We saw some of these players last season on Severance who just barely fell short of the title, players like Starlo. And in the offseason, they formed a super team. They won their first ever tournament they signed up for, winning Crossfire, I believe it was. And they have just been dominant ever since, looking at these players. These guys are so scary. I'm honestly surprised they lost 2 matches in Atlas this season. With the players they have in the roster, all these guys are super high up in the lounge leaderboards. You know, you look at the lounge leaderboards, they're just fully populating the list. We can see they had a conference of Ronrons, RK, and Arcadia Sky. They actually did lose 2 conference matches, but you know, like you said, it didn't really matter. There's still 1 seed. They had a very close semifinals against RK to get here with a +30 and a +14, I believe. So a little bit nervy, but maybe that has woken them up, made them realize, hey, like, this is close. We really need to lock in. We've seen the grinding lounge this past week. Liam just hit GM. I mean, if I'm BUZ, I'm so scared of our opponents.
I mean, BUZ isn't one that you count out though either. Look at them from just a history perspective. They've been playing this tournament since it was known as MKU, starting off all the way back in the lower divisions, climbing their way up from the start of D16, I believe, all the way up now to a D1 staple in modern day. Previously, previous Atlas League season at least, they were Division 2 and Division 2 champions at that, so well-deserved promotion to Division 1 this season. But looking at their lineup, you can very clearly see why they're here and what they are made of. Have the likes of Tyson, you have Scar, you have Yoshira, you have Gold, you have Bape, you have Oxy. Tyson, your leader, and then Yoshira, your point of view for this match. Not honestly, this team is established themselves very well in late 8 Deluxe. I know BUZ has gone through lots of different players, lots of different history, but the likes of Bape, the likes of Scar, the likes of Gold, Tyson, Yoshira in and out of the team. Sliced Oxy is like the only real one, like the only real new addition for MK World, but BUZ, very successful team. that has just climbed through the ranks again and again and again. Obviously, last week we saw their playoff matchup versus Ronron's, a loss in the first match. However, an incredible bounce back in the second match with a 106 win, where they did end up making a rotation in that match, and they've kind of stuck with the lineup that got them the reverse sweep in the semifinals. So just honestly, it's a team that Nemesis should fear. It's a team that Nemesis shouldn't take lightly.
Yeah, we have seen a lot of tinkering this season from BUZ in their lineups. Scar has come into the starting lineup. It seems like they discovered that he was the man for the job midway through semifinals in that comeback win against Ronrons. And BUZ is they're one of the most resilient teams out there. Their very first season in MKU, which was the precursor to Atlas, they were in D16, one of the lowest divs. They had 1 win, 1 tie, and 8 losses. It was looking bad, but that didn't discourage them at all. They kept grinding. They won D11, they won D9, they won D6, they won D2. And then there was a new game. They were about to be D1 in 8DX. The sky was the limit. It was looking up. A new game came and reset their progress. And they went back down to D2 again. And they were like, no, we should not be here. And they won D2 against Ronrons in the final, who they just beat in semifinals. And now here they are in D1 for the first time. 5 out of 6 of their lineup was on that 8DX team that won D2. These guys have played together for so long. They're looking so good. And their last player, Oxy, who has been a star in this game, he appeared kind of out of nowhere. In 8DX, he played D12 in his highest season for the Game Reverse. And look at him now in D1 finals. And BUZ, like I said, they've won a lot of divisions. They've got a very, very good history in MKU or Atlas finals. They are 10-0 total in terms of games. They've never even dropped a game in a final. And here they are, again in D1 finals, and hoping to repeat the process without dropping a single game.
Would be an impressive feat to do so against what is pretty much a super team in NE. Established members from Bree, from Sainsbury's in 8 Deluxe, very, very strong, high-profile players that are known to just be division winners time and time again, whether that be in the likes of MKU, in Atlas League, in other side tournaments like the MK board tournaments that the Japanese staff run. There's both team, well, mainly NE, very strong in that regards. However, BUZ, as we've said, up on the rise, definitely looking to prove themselves. You would say this match on paper definitely goes to NE, as they have clashed in the season beforehand. Only one match between the two because they were in opposite conferences. BUZ lost to NE by 86 with 2 big lineup differences from BUZ from that match to this time around. Bape and Gold not to be seen in that clash mid-season. As for NE, pretty much rocking their strongest lineup. I think LOL and MDR was the only one missing, but not testament to, was it Jojo, who has also came up through this game, sadly not being able to play the finals. But I'm looking forward to it. Do you have any predictions as to who is gonna go win match 1 and go take it all top at? Because
oh gosh,
there's gonna be a different set of opinions from who you ask.
Yeah, I mean, my head says NE, like the smart money's on NE. A lot of people are predicting NE. If you look at the Twitch chat predictions, about, 2/3, 67% of the vote is on the side of NE, 33% of the vote is on the side of BUZ. But my head says BUZ. They just have, my heart says BUZ. They just have a bit of finals magic that you don't see. They go insane in finals. They've never even dropped a match in finals. They looked like they were struggling against Ronrons in semifinals. Match 1, honestly, the scoreline flattered them. They had a good final race at the end to kind of minimize the damage, but for the most part, they were losing by 60 to 80 for the whole match, and it looked like Ronrons had them thoroughly beat. And BUZ just came back in, and they said, no, wait, we're going to D1 finals. We've been in finals before. We're doing this. And I think, honestly, that heart might take them through this finals. So my heart is saying BUZ. I think they are going to pull off the humongous upset today. What about you?
I listen. I know people from both teams. I've played with Scar. I've played with the likes of Gold. What is it? I see them as friends. They're nothing but nice people. But of course, any what is it? I'm also friends with Liam. Like, dude, there's it's so hard for me to like pick a roster to root between because you do want to see the up and comers win who have been in finals time and time again, proven themselves over and over again, compared to a super team. However, I think this is any. I think this is any is to lose. All eyes are gonna be on them. So yeah,
They
just
are,
quick thing.
yeah.
BUZ will be the red team going forward. Any the blue team for all 3 matches. Anything more
I
to
think
add?
I think any, they're pretty outrageous. However, I don't think they've struggled. I don't think they've had to, push back from the depths. If this does go to a match 3, I think they won't quite be prepared for it. We saw a similar story back in MKU season 26, I believe. Bree versus Sainsbury's. A lot of the same players in here. Quite a lot of the NE players on Bree at the time. And they were heavy favorites to win the finals. And they won the match 1 with ease. And I believe they, if my memory recalls correctly, they lost a close match too. And it was just struggle from there. They weren't ready. They didn't realize that, they weren't used to the situation. And I feel like if BUZ comes out the gate swinging, I think they might be able to take this. BUZ, if they do go down, they are not going to struggle. I think NE, if they do go down, they're not used to being in that position. They're a newer team. They have a lot of players. Everyone there's been playing forever, of course, and a lot of them playing together. But they haven't been in a position where they've been losing really before. Yes, they lost 2 regular season Atlas matches, but both of those were when it was already decided. They were already almost guaranteed for the 1 seed. As we get into the match, we will see what happens. We see BUZ picking Acorn Heights to start it off, and we see Salty Speedway on to the side of NE.
Makes sense as NE is the host for match 1. Salty known as a bit more of a runner. Acorn Heights known a bit more as a drafter and bottom spot track. However, we are going to see the Yoshiro track pick in Acorn Heights to kick off this best of 3, potential of 36 races that all these players will have to endure. Looking forward to it. It's going to be a strong showing. As I said, all of NE blue team, all of BUZ red team for this entire best of 3.
We saw the
Let's
controller power notification coming in for Yoshiro. If you get 3 of those, your controller will die. So hopefully he can plug it in. Hopefully he's close enough to his Switch that it will work, because he is a key player on the side of BUZ. As we see him starting off well, getting a coin in 1, managing to bump a player off, and BUZ start in a top 3 situation. And LOL MDR, the only player playing spoiler to that.
But slight driving error from Yoshiro. He's going to take more of a position in the back and allow his teammates to run up. Very crucial thing on this track is it is very runnable. This ending cut can be used in a no item shortcut. You can bounce off the pole, whether that be from the wall, from a charge jump. A lot of ways to make this track viable, both in the top spots and the bottom spots, as we see Yoshiro slowing down, trying to go for shrooms and a dodge in pocket, but might not even be needed. BUZ currently situated top 2, maybe even top 3. A lot of them still in the mid pack. Yoshiro just trying to stay back at the moment, secure himself a dodge. As Baith, I believe, the only spike player in the room, he's going to be going for shock, but he's fallen off the track. Chance to pop that NE does have shock behind the person who was using build, but I think they're still slowing down. It's shockless. BUZ kind of make a good break for it in the front. It's only 1-3-4 for them. That's still will be good momentum if they're able to hold on to it.
We saw the NE player in 2 get forced into their star just a few moments ago by BUZ, so now they do not have that option if shock is in play. However, ever since the update, shock has been way less common and I think less impactful. We're on pop-off. He gets 3 reds. He takes out 1 player in the glider, but he does have to watch out for these nanas from Scar, and he does end up hitting the banana. And like I said, without shock, it's just going to come down to the running skills. Who can get a good start? We see pop-off almost failing this, saving saving it, but losing a little bit more time, and he's now itemless with items everywhere around him. Let's see if he can hold on to this 9. It does look like BUZ are in bot 3, but they have the shock. They guarantee the 1. The bill's coming up. There's 2 more dodges. This looks so good for BUZ right now.
It was looking a bit dire. BUZ in the back with the bottom 3. However, that shock at the very end saving them. Only one of them dodging. That Baby Peach going all the way from pretty much 10th place to 2nd. BUZ top 3 to kick this off. 14-point differential from the race 1. BUZ are taking names. They're barking at any. They want to fight. They're showing that any that they are not scared at all when it comes to this match. Acorn Heights, though, off the board for the rest of the match. Not allowed to repick in sets. What is it? It'll be back on the board for match 2, but strong track from BUZ. I know BUZ really do like that track, so going to be interesting to see where they go to now. They're picking Airship Fortress as any picks Whistle Stop Summit. Both very techy tracks in their regards. Looks like we're going to Whistle Stop though, but really good for any, but can work for BUZ as on the lower path you can pull triple shrooms early in top 3 if just due to the item distribution being weird with the position changes. Top 3 actually get considered more mid spots if everybody on that is in the back takes the left handrail, that you see and are able to drive up quickly. So these opening exchanges here on this race are really going to mean a lot to see who can get themselves in the front.
A double head bounce from Pop-Off hurting him a lot. He was in a fantastic position to use and abuse that rail and get his way into the front, but the double head bounce costs him, and he misses the item as a result. He's getting an item here, but it's 7th place. This could be anything. He does get lucky and gets 4 shrooms, so it'll be very useful in catching up. And he managed to shroom right into Cormo, his teammate, as it looks like there's a lot of red in the front. Once again, BUZ have a good start, but can NE catch up with power items, or can they pull the shock and turn this around here?
Well, we see one of them on the minimap, believe it to be Oxy, failing the Nisk right at the end, which is this track is notorious for in trying to save time. Yoshiro being aggressive in his megaing off Starlo off the track just to get rid of his manners, meaning his teammates can push up a little bit more successfully. It's looking to be a very strong mix of both teams. However,
it's top 4.
BUZ,
no.
BUZ was bottom 2 going into this set. However, looking to be a bit more split now. BUZ could have the shock for all we know. It's very hard to see what's going on off the minimap, but BUZ still holding first. Very, very good for them.
It does look very red. We can see some of the nerves. A lot of these players, we're seeing Nisk fails coming out from them when they are so good. They barely ever fail this Nisk. The situation is definitely getting to all the players early, but we do see BUZ in a top 2-4 situation. Pop-Off his Feather and triple nanas. He can feather over the gap and take out some nanas. If he can catch Bape there, he can take him out. Watch out, Bape, but the greens will protect him well. Bape goes to the slower line and Pop-Off gets the faster line. Bape, did he fall off? Is he lagging? But Pop-Off fails cut as well. We see the blue coming out. It clips Pop-Off. He has no shroom for this cut. He's going to lose positions hand over fist. And this looks very sad once again for NE in a decent position. But the ending comes in and they lose a lot of spots to BUZ, who have been very clutch at the end of the races with a 1-3-4.
Yeah, no shock this time around, despite both teams even being able to fight in the back to try and grab the shock. Shock, as you said, very rare, however, still very powerful for the likes of the bill cut that you can do on this track over the gap cut. We might see it if this track gets played in the next set of 12. But BUZ off to a flying start, up 22. Clearly NE seems to be a little bit rattled, but we've seen this team time and time again. They've proven D1 champions just within their roster. They know what to expect and they know how to shake off these nerves and come back. So don't write them out just yet. It's just the beginning. As we see them go for Salty Speedway, BUZ, Shy Guy, Bizarre, any going for an unorthodox strat of just pick whatever you think will get us back into the war, and it looks to be Pop-Off's Salty Speedway pick.
One thing about NE that cannot be understated is even their C game is capable of winning matches like this. They are that good. Even when they're off, they're still playing so well. So yes, this is a slow start for them, but this is not a team you can count out. You know, if they start playing their A game, BUZ don't stand a chance. You know, BUZ need them to play their C game, and they need to play out of their minds if they want to stand a chance to winning. And so far, it's going well, but who knows if this streak can continue as we start off on Salty Speedway. Another track that is very strong for 5th and 6th place as you can get to the left very quickly, and this looks like a top 4 already for NE as we lead into the race. Popoff gets it back on his teammate, ends up getting trailed by his teammate, and the blue spots up front are starting to evaporate as we head into the second part of lap 1.
I mean, not much Popoff really can do in that situation. Him and Liam both having triple greens. One of them was bound to die in that position. However, NE in the front making work of it. They're currently top 2 from the looks of the map, maybe even top 3. We might see Popoff.
Goodbye, Scar.
Rest in peace. We might be seeing him just play from the back of this race because we do see a lot more BUZ in mid spots. They're going to be opting to go for the shock to see if they can try and get some mid place.
Liam has a bomb. This is so scary, and he gets slow horned right there. This track is so easy to keep your spots on because all the lines are so narrow. There's a fast path, there's a slow path, and if you are not going on the fast path because you're scared of a bomb, like we see with Cormo, you're going to lose time hand over fist. Yoshira does very well to avoid that bomb. Could maybe strike back with one of his own, but doesn't want to take out Gold, his teammate. He holds onto it, and he ends up reading out Cormo, and it is now LOL MDR all alone in one with BUZ bearing down on him. My team, my kingdom. You don't want to see this behind you. A kingdom of players. He pulls the red, but he opts to hold it for a second. If he throws it now, it won't reach LOL MDR. He gets him now. He gets him off top path, and it's lag.
All the lag.
Jump the gun.
But now, what is it? As we see Yoshira, he pulls the shroom. He's able to take the final cut. Whether a case of whether LOL MDR is going to be able to take the final cut himself, whether he's pulled a feather or a green shell, or if he's just able to do Nisk as well. We see a bomb lobbed up, no attempts made. LOL MDR has the feather. Assuming nothing crazy happens, yeah, blue shell was held by NE. LOL MDR securing his first spot. 2-3-4 from the likes of BUZ in the mid pack. The first does them good, however, only going to be able to claw back a little bit if we look at the scoreboard. Yeah, 2-3-4, 7-9, 11 from BUZ. Despite NE only getting 1-5, that's still a good race for BUZ, winning by 4 points. They are now up 26 as we go to enter the last race of the first Grand Prix. I'm surprised. I'll keep it completely honest. I'm very surprised the BUZ just came out swinging from the get-go. NE just not looking to have any answers so far this war into how they can break the top spots of BUZ.
Yeah, I mean, BUZ, like, don't get me wrong, they've been pulling some fantastic items. You know, looking at that, Yoshira pulled just what he needed to take out the players and lead into a 1v1 with LOL MDR. But they are using those items to the best of their ability. They're getting the maximum potential out of them, and that's what you have to do. You can complain about luck all you want. Oh, triple reds got pulled. But it is about the pilot in the seat of that car, and a good pilot will make the best use of his items, which Yoshira was doing to perfection that race. He dismantled NE's tops, got his team into 2-3-4, and they took another small gain. It is still close, however. 26 points is nothing in a game like Mario Kart. That lead could evaporate in just one race as we head onto Bowser Castle, a track very good at evaporating both water and leads.
Yeah, very similar to Salty Speedway, where a lot of the same lines are going to be driven by a lot of the players. So we are going to see a lot of headbutting at the start to see who makes this turn skip. Whoever's able to hold onto their front spots will just be able to establish a run. Unfortunate from Yoshira, failing the bottom path turn skip. Still getting a good respawn though, however, it's kind of let NE slip into top 3 already. LOL MDR still holding first. Popoff with shrooms to take the cuts. I think Korma also has shrooms as well. BUZ getting put on the back pedal, however, there is one of them back there to go for the shock. Shock is quite powerful on this track if utilized well and with the correct dodges, so...
Yeah, there's so many fantastic shock places on this track. A really underrated one that I love is shocking right here at the start of lap 2. If you pull an early shock, it's very rare that teams are ready for this and prepare to defend from it. So if BUZ has shock now, it could be huge, but it seems like they don't. We see the hammers in too. This is so scary for BUZ behind Pop-Off. They can throw these hammers over their teammate and end up taking out BUZ players. Watch out, Yoshira. We do see players in the back still going for shock. Another great shock spot is right here. However, this one is a more top favored shock spot. You can get your top players right after they get that Nisk, and everyone gets target shock and has to suffer through a very, very long respawn. We do see a lot of red in the back. It looks like one of them building up, so it'll be interesting to see if shock is in play leading into lap 3 here.
I mean, still a lot of NE just in the top, BUZ in the mid spots still. Yoshira not going to be able to do much with this rank. Maybe a last shot Hail Mary opts to back it as
NE bot 2.
Is this a sign that BUZ already have shock?
No.
But absolutely not, as we do see the shock over the gap. Yoshira, it's just not his day at the moment with trying to make that bottom path cut. The shock, target shocking pretty much all the BUZ players that were trying to go for the gap cut. Pop up with triple reds in the mid pack. Has to be aware of Starlo, who is next to him. However, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. BUZ will be able to pull power items to help him take these last couple cuts, but it might not be enough. Scar getting ready off the glider. Unless it's lag, it's not lag. It's top 2 for NE at the moment. Baper's up there. Veiler's also up there. Baper's a bomb. Yoshira in a Bill and in Mega. He's locking down second. BUZ with some great items to catch up at the end. NE still securing first. Hectic ending.
Very, very hectic ending. Another 2-3-4. They've done it again out of nowhere. BUZ, led by Yoshira, have salvaged beautifully what looked like a very winning position for NE. Has turned into just a -2 on the side of BUZ. With that 2-3-4 right there. I have no idea how they did that. It looked so chaotic. NE looked in such a strong position, especially after taking out Scar in the top, readying him off glider, forcing him to suffer through a very, very long respawn. But it didn't matter. The Mega from Yoshira coming in, he didn't squash any players, but he did force them out, force them to take slower lines, and as a result, BUZ got into 2-3-4. A Bill on their side also helped them get up front. And now we go on to our next track. I wonder what we'll see. We've had very, very standard track picks so far. Every track we've played has been one you see almost every match. But let's see. NE for 1-5 are going with Shy Guy Bazaar, which is a very risky pick, as first place can easily get bumped off of the rail by second place. Second place is a little bit closer to the inside there and has slight amount of priority. So let's see if NE can hold their 1 here, or if BUZ will manage to bump them off the rail and have 2-3-4 come up and take the lead.
I mean, LolMDR has been putting in work. He's been the front man for NE this entire match. He's not out of options for when it comes to taking the opening turn skip that you will see a lot of these players go for. There is a way that you can do it from bottom path. However, top path just opts to be the fastest way to do it. A lot of players not being able to make it onto the rail, more NE than BUZ than we can see. A lot of BUZ already on top. However, Shrooms, they're pretty strong with catching up. There's a couple cuts. This cut to here, the final sand cut as well before the lap transition, might prove to do NE some favors. However, the Ghost in Pop-Off's pocket right now, huge tool for him. Can use it to just stay invincible, can use him to catch up. He's opting to go in it now. Blue Shell early, going for Tyson, and all the massacre, all the explosions and thrown items just allow Pop-Off to land himself into first place.
Pop-Off's in a great spot with these nanas. He can trap this rail here, force people to go around the turn skip. He opts to save them. He's going to use them later on in the lap, probably at the start of next lap on that rail to prevent the players behind him. However, it does look like his teammate Liam might have gotten into second there. It's a very, very close pack. He is out of his nanas, but his teammate is behind, so he is defended by Veiler right there. Veiler with triple shrooms behind him will be able to use these, and this looks very, very good for NE. I believe that's a top 3 now. Yoshira has greens. He can throw them up on the rail, but I don't think these reach.
They don't do anything for all. Still top 2 for NE. BUZ 3-4 at the moment. They're holding greens 4-5. Now, yeah, no, NE top 3, my bad. As they go into the set, Yoshiro pulling the red, his teammate ahead of him. The Nana slip as well. He's just going to hold on to this mid spot. I don't think there's much more Yoshiro can do in this race unless there's a last minute shot, last minute ghost pull. But
Yeah,
it
BUZ.
looks to be a pretty secure. Oh, gold backed on glider. He's off. Top 4. Any?
Yeah, BUZ have proven to be Houdini-like in their escapes this match from bad positions, but finally a trap has foiled them. They haven't been able to escape this top 4, 8, 9 from NE. We see the track pick. Shy Guy Bazaar, I doubted it at first, but it has flipped this match on its head with NE taking a 4-point lead now after that fantastic race on Souk Muskas, as it's said in French.
As you said, the war is far. What is it? Far from over. What is it that when they were minus 24 down, any was still not out of it. BUZ still not out of it by the fact that it's 4. However, any using that track perfectly to allow them to put the match in their hands at the moment. Whether they're able to keep this momentum now is the question. BUZ going to have to reset from that. They've had all the power going forward until that race just then. Just gonna have to shake it off. It's one big race. They've dealt with it before in the semifinals match last week, like they did with Ronron's. Just a case of whether they're able to capitalize on anything. A lot of interesting tracks coming out here. I think Koopa Troopa Beach.
Ooh. Something super interesting about that big Shy Guy Bazaar win is the psychology of it in a long best of 3 like this. If it does end up going to 3 matches, you can rest assured that Shy Guy Bazaar will be played 3 times, or NE doesn't get a track pick, one of the two. And BUZ will be going into Shy Guy Bazaar knowing they just got plus, 26th on that track. They're going to be scared. They're going to be playing scared. They're, already mentally going to be behind next time they play that track in match 2 and potentially match 3. So that's a huge win on the side of NE on that track pick. But we go to Koopa Troopa Beach, a very, very random track, in my opinion. It really depends on what items we get. We see Yoshiro with a fantastic pull. He does star his teammate, but he has triple shroom star in 7. His teammates in 1, but NE is all behind, using a star, trying to bump out players, but BUZ Yoshiro is making his way up into the front here.
Listen, call me a madman. However, there were tracks like this in 8 Deluxe. There were tracks even like this in Mario Kart World, where all you do is pick the track, and all you can say is the track wins itself. Whether NE is able to prove that this track wins itself will be a different story, though. Pop up with the start in second. Going to be a case of whether or not he's able to play it
Tyson doesn't
aggressively
know about
to
the
kick out
start.
Tyson.
Tyson doesn't know about the start. Tyson cannot see the item that Pop-Up has behind. Maybe he thinks he has nothing. He needs to watch out. He hits a Nana, but doesn't actually end up getting hit by it. We see Pop-Up trying to snipe Tyson. He misses, but his star will last him through this cut, and he will not have a bomb in first. BUZ all behind him. He backs it. Tyson calls it. It doesn't get any BUZ players, but it gets one of the blue players. I think it gets a BUZ player as well. We see Pop-Up in 1. Nothing to take the cut. Does Tyson have anything to take this cut, or will Pop-Up run away with this race? Could Shock be in play, or are all the players in the back going to struggle to catch up? Pop-Up gets redded twice, and he gets redded again. Will that connect? And it will. No, it won't.
iFrame saving him as he holds on to first place. BUZ 2-3, I think Bailey 4 or 5, all of NE just in the mid spots though. Oh no, 2-3-5-6 from BUZ. That's way better than what it looked like on the minimap. It seemed to be that NE was occupying the mid spots. However, NE's fine with that. A neutral race is all they need to stay ahead at this point. Not much more that NE could really ask for. They don't need huge winning races now that they're in the driver's seat. Maybe they want to get something that helps them be a little bit more comfortable. Of course, if a war goes above 40 points, teams will be looking for huge races, as that is the most you can score individually in a race with top 6. However, NE just looking calm. They're looking complacent. They've got their lead. They're trying to just hold on to it.
It is a game of such small margins. If that red from Yoshiro is thrown probably 0.3 of a second later, that's a top 2 right there for BUZ. That's a +8, +10 race, and BUZ are in the lead of the match. But because that red was thrown slightly too early, NE maintain their lead, and BUZ will need to shake off the tilt from that and just go next. Oh well, my bad, I mistimed the red. You got to get that out of your head. You got to be a goldfish. You got to start going on to BUZ Cinema. Another track that maybe not the most advanced driving tech. It will come down to the items pulled and how they are used as we head into this race on the POV of Yoshira here.
Listen, some people call this BUZ Cinema. I like to call it BUZ Casino because Shock is so powerful on this track.
Oh my,
If
yeah.
Bills are so powerful on this track, honestly, it feels like a lot of races are just decided by what people are able to pull on lap 3, carry through to the glider section, and catch up with at the end. Whether we see that here or not will be different. D1 players obviously have the item strategy better than 90% of most of the kart community. So maybe we see some orthodox item uses that will work to help keep one of these teams in the front, as we do see Yoshira in the bill catching up early. One of the NE players with triple reds in the pack. Yoshira with the shrooms, he's going to try and get...
What a snipe from Gold.
Into first place, however, it's still Popoff in the lead. Yoshira with a shroom, Popoff also with a shroom in first. Are both our POVs chilling in top 2 at the moment, as it's just a scuttle in the back. Everything after Popoff and Yoshira, just the difference of red. That's devastating. However, it's Kolmo behind him, actually. I thought he had a teammate behind him, but no, Yoshira's now going to fend off Kolmo, who is in a better position to pull items, lets him pass, but only a shroom horn.
This could be scary.
Whether he decides to be aggressive with it or not is a different story. He's trying to get the draft. They both take out each other. Popoff just gets a huge lead in the front.
Baylor has triple reds as well. This is so scary for Yoshira. He is in a 3-on-1 and ends up losing. This does lead into a top 3 for NE. But as you said, Shock and Bill can turn this around so much. You wouldn't think so with the lack of shortcuts on this track, but it is very hard to get a breakaway. Obviously, Popoff has changed that, and we see the Shock coming out from BUZ. We see Tyson dodging up high. We see hammers on the side of Yoshira. He opts to back them. He's not aiming for the front presence. He will let his teammates take care of that. LOL MDR is coming up as well in a star with a golden. And it's all going to come down to what is pulled right here. We see the blue as well. The blue taking out a blue player. That clearly didn't work out well for them. And we see bottom 3 for BUZ still. Liam gets passed, but there still are a lot of bottoms for BUZ. So I think this will once again be a pretty neutral race.
Things still in the favor of BUZ, though. That Shock getting to NE's top 3 passed. No, only a 1-3. I'm not doing good at reading this minimap. It is kind of chopped for me. I apologize, boys.
It's hard, man.
It's still a winning race for NE. They get 4 more points. The Shock looked to do wonders for BUZ. Didn't end up doing much in the end. Just ended up giving NE a little bit more of a break, as they were able to secure most of those mid spots. As we go into race 8.
I thought that was going to be a lot better for BUZ when the Shock came out, but only 2 other players were able to get out. We saw LOL MDR with a star and a golden, the perfect combination. If it's the other way around, it's horrible. But with that combination of items, you have a star and you have a speed boost usable. You've got the handling boost, and you can just use that to take out players. And we saw LOL MDR go bowling with the BUZ players, taking them all out and establishing the middle spots for his team. It's a great salvage from NE from what looked to be a horrible position, and they now extend their lead. 8 points is the difference now as we head into the final 5 races here.
EK pass from the side of BUZ. This one with a lot of driving tech, not much that you would see online driving tech-wise from what you see in the time trials as of late, as they do go for a lot of frame-perfect strats. However, not to discredit this track, this still has driving tech. The opening wall ride into turn skip that you can do, the final cut being so powerful with shrooms, if you have to drive around that, it's curtains at the end of a race. Popoff opting to just play in the back, get triple shrooms. A lot of players opting to just get the triple shrooms pulled, which is smart. They know when they can use these shrooms. They can play them aggressively to try and get up in the front. They can reserve them to help them take that ending cut. Also chain it into this cut here as well. But it looks to be a scuttle in the front. Looks to be a little bit more NE dominated though. As Gold does have triple greens, kills one player from NE, but
Popoff opts to cycle his items and gets shrooms again. That's a gamble, but you have to take gambles in a match as high stakes as this. You need a play to get lucky. Good players will get lucky. and we see the triple shrooms coming out, but Yoshira is in one. Gold with triple reds. He slows down, but doesn't get pop-off somehow. I'm so surprised that didn't hit, but look at this break Yoshira has now. Tyson in second, Pop-Off in third. Pop-Off needs to make some magic happen if he wants to take these players out. We see Cormo on his way up with the golden as well. He's using the golden spot. This is perfect. You can take 3 shortcuts with this. He will be gaining on Tyson. It'll be interesting to see what items Tyson has as the blue comes out as well. Bape is on his way up as well. Pop-Off once again opting to use his cut item, gets another one, gets a Kamek, and this could be used in a very bad way for BUZ as they're leading up to the cut that requires a charge jump.
He needs to coordinate this perfectly though, as there is one of his NE members ahead of him. One of the BUZ members still able to take cut. A couple players going around, mainly NE, one from a Bill extension. First place, I believe, has fallen off. It looks to be top 2 for the moment, top 2 of 4. As a lot of BUZ are just pushing up, they do have 2 players in the back. We do have to keep that in mind. The shock could be in play. Yoshira losing all his defense. He's now in a very volatile position. However, these final items could mean work, but it doesn't mean much if he's getting back greened.
That's an NE shock, but Yoshira is benefiting. We see a Bill dodge, but this looks to be NE top 3 from out of nowhere with a late shock right there, taking out all of BUZ's tops. They were in a great position, but on DK Pass, that cut is so powerful. We see a top 3-5 on the side of NE as they extend their lead at the front even further.
Yeah, I was going to say, as much as Yoshira was in the back and was able to dodge shocks, shock in this game, different from other Mario Kart games where it is actually based on your position who gets affected. It's everybody ahead of you rather than everybody in the room. It was the back green from Pop-Off that kind of sold Yoshira's race. He got ghosted, hit by his own greens, left in a volatile position from NE. Even with the golden, NE just seemed to have all the catch-up items to be able to take cut and open up this war a little bit more as we go into the final Grand Prix. BUZ was up 24, leaving the first GP. Now it's NE leaving up 24 in the second GP. It's a tight match we have on our hands. Will NE be able to hold on to what they've built in this second GP, or is BUZ going to be able to shake off the nerves, a little bit of the sweat that they have developed over these past races, and just take match 1? It would be huge for either teams, just with how close the war has been at the moment, to take this first game, apply a lot of pressure onto the other team to perform the reverse sweep. But going into Cheap Cheap Falls, iconic strats here, left, right, and center. The little turn skip at the start, Tarzan, you'll see all these players try to go for when they're in the correct position to do so, but also strong catch-up potential with the items that you can pull here as well.
This is my favorite track in the whole game. I love it so much. It's so cool to see it be played, especially by players miles better than me. And we see Yoshira with an early shroom pull. This is so nice on a track like this. You can use these shrooms. There's lots of cuts you can do. Pretty much every cut here can be nisked, but the shroom does save a lot of time. We see a lot of players going around Tarzan or getting bumped off it. It's unclear which, as it's so laggy in this section, but we now see Yoshira into 4th place with his triple shrooms. We see 2 of his teammates with shrooms around him. We see a lot of NE players also with shrooms. We see the player in 1 opting to nisk. Yoshira burns 2 of his shrooms to establish 1st place, so Gold MK can red out Cormo. That is perfect team coordination, and as a result, BUZ, my team, my kingdom, now has a top 2. We see a red coming out, but Yoshira has defense. He was very lucky to pull that 30% chance. Green shell in 1. He's going for the Tarzan. He has no more shrooms to take the ending cut. So we will see his Nisk game. Can he get the Nisk successfully? Or will he fail Tarzan just like that? But salvages very well. I need to put that into my own gameplay. Wow.
I was going to say, that's salvage of a lifetime. Of course, MDR, LOL MDR is catching up, however, Yoshira able still to stay in first. LOL MDR just taking the shroom cut though faster than taking the Nisk, as he does land himself in first at the moment. However, this is another track where shock can come into play really heavily. We have seen the split from both teams in the back, both trying to go for it. However, this lap is going to be determined of whether the front spots can hold their own or whether the mid spots can use their catch-up items while Pop-Off with 2 shrooms. Brilliant position to be in. Scar only having 1. Pop-Off's going to want to see if he can pull anything from this final set to try and out-aggro BUZ, who are into 3 at the moment. whether he's able to pull anything or not. Oh, he got triple red! Oh, Yoshira! It's not Yoshira's day. He makes the correct play to try and take off first place. However, pop off with those triple reds, being able to space wall from the horn. And it's top 2, 4, 6, 9, 11, 4, and 8. That's another winning race for them. Yoshira, there's nothing Yoshira can do in that situation. He played it well, just pop off. Good players get good items. Triple reds in third. They seem to be more and more common after the patch update. And any slowly breaking away with it, as if BUZ want to get back in it and keep the war neutral, they need a top 6 now for it to at least be tied going into the final 3 races.
Once again, we see a game of inches at the end. Just like Koopa Troopa Beach, there are red shells involved. And once again, just like Koopa Troopa Beaches, Yoshira loses that game of inches. His horn was so close to clipping Pop-Off as well. Pop-Off had no idea he had a horn, or even a feather for that matter. But because of the spacing, Yoshira went a little too far left to take out the player in one, gets redded for it, and that's a big lead now from BUZ. 50 points with 3 races to go. This is the territory where it starts to get hard to catch up. This is when teams will start playing risky, maybe making stupid decisions they wouldn't, no, not stupid, that's the wrong word, risky decisions they wouldn't normally make, because they need to make up those points. You have to play risky. You have to make decisions that you wouldn't normally do, put yourself in risks, maybe like on this track on Spaceport. Maybe just having everyone bag, playing like we need shock. Like it doesn't matter if they just run. If we get a shock, we win this race. That is probably what I'd do here. But maybe BUZ just run and say risk. Hey, we're just gonna try and get high shrooms, high roll shrooms, and hope shock doesn't get pulled. They need to put all their eggs in one basket on this race if they want to try and win this. We see Pop-Off starting well, going for the Nisks. He elects to run this track, but will struggle because a lot of players will have shrooms behind him, and a lot of players will be catching up. We see Yoshira in 2 behind him. Yoshira always in the front somehow, always doing very, very well, and it'll be cool to see which player will win this duel up front, as it seems like Yoshira has already been hit out. We see Valor in second, Valor now in first, but Scar and Pop-Off close behind. This feather is quite good though. It can take a cut to the opposite slowdown, try and get some shrooms.
I mean, also makes sense for him to try and get some coins as well, of course. Main thing with the coins, that the most beneficial coins you get are your first 7, and whilst it's a slow increase in speed after that, they're still important to get nonetheless. You'd still rather be on 20 coins than you would 7, so maybe trying to prioritize that as well. As anywhere in bottom 2 there for a little bit, however, BUZ slowing down to make sure that they don't have all the bottom spots, and this is where the carnage of the track begins. These final 2 sections built very tight, choice in path, choice in cut as well, whether you take it or not. Spacing away from Liam, who has the red shell. Any player now ahead of Yoshira with the greens. Tyson obviously going for the player with greens.
This is BUZ top 3.
Yoshira in the crossfire.
This looks so good for BUZ. They have a bill up high, they have a lot of high spots, but Yoshira ends up getting clipped. He does have a shroom to catch up, but I see so much red in the front, and I see a lot of blue in the back. This is so scary for NE. This might be BUZ's ticket back into the match. They definitely got first, and they got top 2, 6 through 9. It's not a perfect race, but bottom 3 for NE will be a point loss, and it is now 24 points the difference with 2 races to go. This is so exciting.
I was gonna comment on how interesting to see that they didn't go for Desert Hills. They've been picking Desert Hills the entire match, BUZ, when they've been on the back foot. DK Spaceport, unorthodox pick. It works out for them as we go into the final 2 races. NE still not in the clear. They have the chance to use this 11th race to try and send it home. All they need is a race of 16 points or greater, just to at least tie, if not win, the war. We see BUZ going for Airship Fortress, which NE really wanted for their top spots, however, not going to be able to utilize it now. I don't know, DK Spaceport's a weird one, but if teams can make it work, they can make it work, and I've got to give credit to them. Absolutely phenomenal from BUZ just to keep themselves in there, as Mario Bros. Circuit gets picked. Going to be some interesting strategy to see. Obviously, 3, 4, and 5 can all take the sign shortcut. However, BUZ could be willing to sacrifice one of their top 2 spots to just jump into the tires themselves, 6 through 9 jump into the cut once the tires are destroyed. It's a way of making the Nisk, but just faster at the sacrifice of one of the teammates. Time to see what gets decided at the start.
I've not seen this before. Slow starting, so you guarantee onto the rail. Maybe he's not in the top, but he is, in third right now. He doesn't have an item, but he does pass everyone who does go for the item. But this looks good on the side of NE with Starlo and LOL MDR in top 2. Remember, there's a lot of shroom ups here, but Starlo pulls the perfect item, triple nanas. It'll be interesting to see whether Gold MK can draft up and take out Starlo, which he does. And we see some split tops on the side of both BUZ and NE right here, with hammers now coming out from Yoshira. Let's see who he can collect.
Able to collect Starlo. Bailey, I think he was able to get the kill on that. Don't know where Starlo has got. Nah, Starlo's still alive. Trying to play around lag like this, it is a bit unfortunate. Big plays.
That true boost
doesn't allow him to get the boxes. Yoshira's still in the back though. We could see a shot from Yoshira. Pop off, unfortunate driving error right there, landing him off the truck. However, this is fine. He's still able to roll and get another dodge. Front spots are very mixed at the moment, however, it is still NE in the favorable position, as we do see a lot of BUZ behind. Would love to know what Yoshira has underneath that bill. Whether Pop-Off's able to pull Shock underneath this Mega will be a different story, though. No, it's just the Golden. Still anybody's race, as we see Tyson in the back. We see Vela and Cormo alongside in the back with Pop-Off. Pop-Off's just opting to hold this Golden to catch up.
This looks good for NE.
There's a lot of BUZ in the mid-pack. It's just going to be a case of whether they can hold onto that top 2, make things a little bit harder for BUZ. But based off it at the moment, NE's looking for a race that they can just win.
Pop-Off fails the chain.
He still has triple streams though.
Wow, this is crazy looking into the end. This looks very, very good for NE. However, a late shock right here would be devastating. We see a lot of the BUZ going for the shortcut, but NE not losing too much time on Glider, and this looks like this might even be the match. Could this be the match with the top 4? Is that top 5 even?
That's top 5.
That's top 5.
Wait, is the top 6?
Could that be top? That's heartbreaking. And that's the end of match 1. Just like that, in a flash. It looked so close all the way through, but NE showing why they are top of the division, showing why they're favorites in the match. Race 11, super, super tight. They just took a -20 on DK Spaceport. They shook it off and they fridged right there. And now we're just going into bonus time. We're seeing the players maybe pick a track, maybe try something, maybe it'll be testing their opponents on a track, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't, as we head into this garbage time race 12 right here.
I mean, even it looked like NE was just able to make good work of BUZ in the mid-pack. We saw Pop-Off with the rank pull at the end, able to kill some of the BUZ members, and he just able to keep hold in the front. Even if Shock was to come and play, NE was in dodge at the final set, so NE was confirmed first, no matter whether there was a Shock or not. It was just a case of what the mid-pack was able to do, and put in the work they did. 64 difference. It is now physically impossible for BUZ to come back into this. Just got to use this time now to make sure that their heads are still fresh. They don't need to take this race too seriously. Both teams can lay off a little bit before they go into the second match, or maybe use this race. Mario Circuit can be a bit of a troll track at times to get into the other team's head. If you keep the enemy tilted, it's a good sign of things to come, giving yourself the mental advantage going into the second match. You see a lot of players slow down, opt to pull for Triple Shrooms Star as their first pull. Very powerful on this track, just having a dodge going into lap 3, being able to take a big cut on lap 2. Pop-Off not getting the fortunate rolls though. He is able to roll once more for the dodge in the pocket, whether he gets it in 10th place or not. We shall see. He pulls a Mega, better than nothing to dodge the shock. However, it does seem to be a lot of BUZ in the front. I mean, I don't want to say this race isn't worth commentating. The match is already over. It's just a case of whether BUZ is going to be able to go into the next match now untilted and with a fresh mentality.
It's still so worth commentating, and it's worth for these players to put in their best efforts to win. We saw it in the semifinal on primetime last week. BUZ losing a similar match one against Ronrons, but they gave it their all going into the final race. They ended up getting I want to say like plus 30 against Ronrons, a huge momentum shift, and they're able to take that momentum into the next match. However, this looks like top 4 for NE, maybe even top 5. Surely not a fridge again.
It's not a fridge again. I think there was one NE member in the back. Yeah, one
Top
behind the
5 from out of nowhere. BUZ looked to be in very, very high positions going into that final race, but NE with a top 5. The 96-point differential, definitely not the full story of this match, but NE does end up taking match 1.
I mean, from the looks of things, NE was able to just utilize their items well going into these last 2 races. Of course, the top 6 on on Mario Bros circuit, the top 5 on this track, Mario circuit. You need to wonder, what is BUZ thinking right now? A BUZ checked in mentally to be able to go into the next war not rattled, because losing the war to a top 6, but then not only having your final race be a top 5 defeat as well, it's crazy work. It'll be crazy work for them to come back. However, we've seen BUZ do this. We have seen BUZ come back from worse situations in this season before, but you've got to give props to NE, man. Those final 2 races, just displaying the masterclass of their item usage and ability to just take out the BUZ players when needed, making them crumble at the very end of this match, destroying mental going into match 2. Is BUZ going to be able to keep up the resilience that you said they had this season so far?
I mean, we'll see. We have a match 2 coming up soon on the top of the hour. Looking at other results in D2, we see Jet Joker with a very small 14-point win over Marekis in match 1 of their finals. That could very well go to the wire. We see in D4, RK2 picking up a very small 8-point win over Dynamite. This is another match that could be very, very close. Things to keep an eye on if you've got 2 monitors, maybe tap into the D2 or the D4 finals as well. We are going to head off to a break right now. At the top of the hour, we will be back. We will see if BUZ can shake off the tilt and take out NE, or if NE will maintain the momentum from the last 2 races and maybe just take out BUZ and put them down for once and for all. So we will be back soon.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Mario Kart Central stream. Still on about Atlas League Season 2 Division 1 Finals. Mainly between NE and BUZ. However, quickly just want to go over some of the other results going on because it's finals weekend everywhere across all 17 divisions. We have some results that have came in. We've mentioned D2 and D4 before our break. In D6, Ronron's 2 against Velocity. Ronron's 96-point win over them. They're taking the first game there. Only Friends versus RS in D8. Only Friends winning that one. Shy Guys Rowing Club's second team, Shy Guy Gambling Club, winning against Baffy in Division 10. We did have one finals match played earlier as well in D5. That's been decided. Astro Blitz being your champions there, 2-1 win over World Friend. Finals here, there, everywhere. But of course, the one on everyone's lips right now that we are watching, NE versus BUZ, My Team, My Kingdom. As we saw towards the end, NE able to get the match in the grasp of their hands. Top 6 on Mario Bros. Circuit, top 5 on the end. Obviously, it didn't matter too much on Mario Circuit, but still a momentum shaker for BUZ to deal with once again. We do have the predictions going on. Who do you think is going to win match 2? And between NE and BUZ, let's speak about both the teams really quick towards the end of that war. What do you think both of these teams are now going to need to do going into this second war? Because this second war, it's important for both. It's a case of whether NE will be able to hold onto the ground that they established, or whether it's going to be a case of BUZ under a lot of pressure right now. Will they be able to clap back from very tough final GP that they just played?
I mean, it's so hard. Like, if you're in BUZ's shoes, it's so hard. Like, you were keeping it so close against the best team in the game. You know, I think it's very widely accepted that NE are, the mountain that you have to climb if you want to win. And BUZ was scaling that mountain so well. They were almost at the top of Everest, and just at the very end, they slipped and fell right back down to the bottom. So they need to pick themselves up, just like that. And they need to be like, hey, like, we were so close. We almost beat them, and they can do it again. They truly can. Whether can and will is a different story. I think, I was pretty high on BUZ last match, but I think after that showing from NE, I think it is going to be NE taking it home. I do think it's going to be a closer scoreline than the other match, but I also think it is not going to be as close a match. I think NE are going to lead wire to wire, hold a 40 to 60 point lead pretty consistently throughout this match, but I would love to be wrong about this and see a game 3 coming in from these two teams.
I mean, yeah, definitely. As we saw, BUZ was able to pretty much have it in the first 6 to 8 races, and then NE towards that final GP able to just clasp themselves into that war. BUZ has got to use the energy that they got in that first half of the first war to now bounce back and try and take this to a game 3. It'll be very close. Hopefully we see another display of effort like we did in that first war. That first war, every race counted. Every race was important. It's going to be the same going into this war. Just a case of whether BUZ crumble under the pressure and NE are able to rise up, or whether NE just take the momentum that they had and just absolutely go with it. As we are waiting for the players to get into the room right now, I don't believe there's been any lineup changes. Still seeing the same players from both squads in the finals roster. No team feeling like they needed to make a change. Do you think that was a good decision from both teams, just sticking with the lineups that they have, maybe letting some people off for a mental refresh?
I think it's a fantastic decision to stick with your lineups. I think, both lineups got them here. We saw this lineup from BUZ battle back. I'm talking about BUZ because there's no reason for NE to change their lineup. They won pretty comfortably. But we saw this lineup from BUZ fight back against Ronrons after a very tough match 1 where they got thoroughly outplayed. This team is known for having mental fortitude. I think it's smart to keep them in. I also think swapping a player out of lineup is very scary because it can potentially damage their confidence and be a lasting effect that happens more than just the finals, you know. Yes, they want to win the finals, but it is important to keep the team together, you know, keep grinding. You know, whoever loses this finals, I have no doubt they will be back. They're going to be more motivated and they're going to come back next season as a stronger team. And so I think keeping those good vibes up is so important for both teams. So I really like their decision to keep their lineups the exact same and play it out.
As we go into the second war, this time BUZ, the hosts, we see them pick Salty Speedway off the rip. Could be a similar situation where we just see the exact same picks from match 1 race, but no, just pure Salty Speedway. The one rogue Acorn Heights. Imagine it lands on that Acorn Heights.
That would be so funny. A little bit close, but not quite. We go to Salty Speedway. However, BUZ do have the better spots for this track. They are hosts of this match, being the second seed. They get to host match 2. And I'm assuming they're loading in with great spots for Salty. 1 is fantastic on Salty. 5 and 6 are really nice on Salty, as it means you can get to the left of that crate at the start and just take an early lead, get the double charge dump, or get the fall off water bounce. Not exactly sure what it's called. It's very hard to do, but these are the best of the best. What Yoshira just did, that. Very hard to do, but these are the best players. So of course he's managed it. There are triple greens behind him. He will have to avoid, but he seems to be breaking away already. Gets a coin, gets 2 more. He has a big coin advantage over everyone behind him, and he pulls a feather. That is the perfect pull. This will let him take the cut at the end of the lap. And I see a lot of red in the mid spots. This is looking quite good for BUZ as we head into match 2.
I mean, a couple of NE behind him as well, maybe able to push up with items to kill him on the rail. We see pop off with the triple reds, he pulls them out, he plays aggressive with the people behind him, and Yoshira nowhere to be seen. He must have just got out aggroed in the front with the Nemesis players behind him, as we do see pop off now land himself in first. Unfortunate driving mistakes. He hits the back. Unfortunate driving mistakes from the NE player that was next to him, as it's just Pop-Off in first, looks to be BUZ in 2-3 at the moment. Pop-Off with the items that he's probably just going to hold his defense, not play too risky with his aggression, as there is BUZ in 2-3. I think Babe is holding a shroom, so not able to do much to get him off the glider. But it will be a shake-up again going into lap 3 with Babe in first with triple manners. Lethal pull as he's just able to trap every line that he takes.
Indeed, Pop-Off was very lucky to pull 2 bits of defense there, but we see a line fail coming in from Babe. He should be in first. What has happened there? Maybe the nerves are getting to him. This is do or die right now for BUZ. If they don't win this match, they are out, and NE will be your D1 champions. And Pop-Off pulls another feather. That's 2 feathers. No. It was a different player who pulled feather at the start. He opts to use his feather early, gets a break. You see Yoshira with a dodge. Lots of BUZ with dodges. If they have shock, this is really good. Yoshira pops his dodge. They're all going. Everyone's going to be making a mad dash to the finish line right here, but it doesn't seem like Shock is in play, and it looks like NE are top 2, maybe even more. Yoshira gets hit, but he still crosses the line, and it looks to be new race, but new war, but same story with NE getting top 2, 4, 5, 7. It's just like the last 2 races. Another strong win coming through at the end from the side of NE.
Up to 22 to begin this war. NE taking those last couple of races that they had in War 1 and just firing on all cylinders. This war is definitely all ready to be established as NE in the prime position. It's just a case of whether BUZ is able to find any sort of momentum and claw back into this war, or whether NE's just going to be able to run away with it. We saw that Bape, he was in first. He must have messed up one of the strats when going for the opening strat, because it's still really hard to do both on lap 2 and lap 3 with the momentum that you have going off the wall trick into lap 1 from lap 1. So can't blame him for that. It wasn't able to kill out the players with the triple nanas, but he's got to shake that off now as we do go to Bowser's Castle again. Chaining 2 very strong running tracks here. This is going to be a fight of who is able to keep down the front spots overall, as any top 2, 4, 5 really good positions. It's just going to be a case of what Yoshira pulls and whether Yoshira is able to have a better performance on this track than he was able to the first war as he does go for the bottom path. And Red's pop off. Does he make...
Can he make the cut? No, he gets greened by a stray green going for it. Him and pop off. And pop off got redded. How is he in fourth? That's magic. I don't quite know what's going on. I don't know how he's done that. I might need to learn from him. Because that is outrageous. We do see Tyson in second, now first as he hits out the NE player in one. We see the Nanas getting ghosted. I believe that is a BUZ ghost. Yep, they're coming up. No, that is Starlow's ghost. BUZ is top two, but Starlow and Popoff have attack items right behind them. Popoff goes to the green, but misses. Gold is able to shroom into one, with Popoff following in two as we head on to lap 2 of Bowsing Castle here.
I mean, it's still BUZ 1-3. However, we saw last time this track was played out, and he was able to pull a shock and able to make some waves with it, not as much as they would have liked to. Maybe we have a repeat story here now as we do see that Baby Mario all the way in the back. You'd like to think it's not in play from the fact that they went for cut or they fell off, so if shock was in play, it's now no longer any confirmed bottom 2 going into the second set. BUZ still 1-3, but they're holding a lot of mid spots, 1, 3, 4, 5. Any bottom 4, that's maybe not something the BUZ really wants to see at the moment, because if any pull shock, they're kind of in the good hand of just having all the dodge items and being able to do as they please. Yoshira trying to catch up, Poppa with the Nanas in second. He has the shrooms to overtake to help assist Gold, as it is top 2 now for BUZ.
Yeah, but does shock come out here? We saw a lot of NE bots. We do see the biddy on the side of BUZ stopping. Gold MK has not made it over the cut. If Yoshira holds his horn, he can get Pop-Off off glider, but he goes early. Pop-Off will get the boost panel and not lose too much time. Maybe that was a little bit over-ambitious on the side of Yoshira. And now BUZ are at a 1-3-4. Yoshira has a shroom in one. I'm hard-pressed to see a way he won't manage to come home in first this race. The shot comes, but he's on glider. Scar ends up drowning in the lava, and NE are making their way up. Here comes the red, but Yoshira is so far gone. The red won't hit. The blue comes. I think that was being held behind the shock. We see bombs everywhere on the right, but NE are 2-5 right there, and that one from Yoshira, all the hard work is undone by the mid spots of NE. Although 6-9, I think that's a pretty even race, and BUZ do regain, well, they stop NE's momentum. Lose 2 points, but the bleeding has stopped, and maybe now they can come right back into this match.
I think Yoshira made all the right plays there. Of course, chaining the shroom and the horn into second place to try and kill Pop-Off so that way he has something to take one of the cuts. I think that was an amazing play for him to not try and get him off the glider. However, just another phenomenal shot from NE. Scar not able to do much with the glider. NE kind of just accepting, okay, we're going to let Yoshira hold first. We need to use this shock to just stop all momentum that BUZ have in the mid-pack. And they performed it successfully. They managed to screw over Scar with him drowning in the lava, maybe forcing a couple of the other BUZ members to not pull terrific items to catch up with, and NE just stole it in the mid-pack. However, all eyes on Yoshira now, as he does start in first, the Lone Wolf, on whatever track gets decided. BUZ Cinema, Whistle Stop Cinema, and we do see the Road Trooper Beach as well, a Rogue Shy Guy Bazaar as well. We are going to Whistle Stop.
And we saw BUZ get a fantastic race on Whistle Stop last war. One of their best races, definitely in their top 3. Maybe they can pull that off again. I think they do have fantastic spots for it, with 6th place, having great access to the rail, and 12th place as well. It will be interesting to see the battle between 5th place and Pop-Off and the 6th place BUZ player, who can get on that yellow rail, who will head bounce the other off it, and which one will establish the front presence, as it is so fast to go. Take the red rock cut. A lot of NE's players have to go around. We see some BUZ players going around as well. Yoshira pulls triple Nanas, doesn't even want to risk it, throws them right away, and it looks like Pop-Off has won that not Pop-Off, a different NE player is now in one. It's very easy to hold one on this track if you can hit your nisks. If you don't fail your lines, you get so many easy backs. People have to go so slow to avoid you. Yoshira getting the draft, slows down, gets his charge at bat, and shrooms up to save it. That's a very strong play. It's these little small things that all these players can do. And I know we've talked about the like macro state of a match, but the micro state, what these players can do, some of the plays they make, the decisions they make, they are so good, and every single one of them is showing why they deserve to be here.
Yeah, exactly. Liam getting the back red, meaning that Yoshiro is going to be playing this a little bit more from the back. He would have preferred to hold onto the shrooms and run up the star just in case BUZ pull the shock. However, it is a 1-1 split in the back. 10, 11, and 12 can all pull shock in this game. It's very unlikely from 10, so you will tend to see teams fighting for bottom 2, 11 and 12. As we do see blue come in, Vela just opting to fall off the track. And it
That's a
TS.
blue shock. That's a
No,
blue shock. The top 2 dodged. I thought that was a BUZ shock for sure, but NE are now in top 3 out of nowhere. Their player who dodged the blue by jumping off the map ended up not getting shocked either. Gets a lot of speed. Pop off made it just past the dangerous part of the NISC. The BUZ players behind him getting hit, and NE are now top 4. This is going to be so hard to catch up at the end for BUZ, especially Pop Up with a shroom to red. He can gain speed on landing this cut, and he can back his red and take out a BUZ player, but he opts to slow down, takes out Scar. Scar is unaware of the danger, throws his ring forwards. The ring misses the red. He gets Pop Off, but Pop Off has done his job. Pop Off does not care that he's died. He's ensured his teammates top 3, and we see 2 more of his teammates coming up. This looks like a top 4, maybe top 5. A player gets hit on the line, but this is so bad right now for BUZ. Pop Off making a self-sacrificial play to ensure his team gets a good race. This is the type of trust you want to see between teammates, and plays like these are what will win you D1 as NE get closer and closer to having their hands on that trophy.
Yeah, brilliant plays from Popov. Popov just understanding that Scar was the threat. Scar kind of showing his rang a little bit too early, but then again, Popov with the red, a bit more of an advantageous item. You can back it and have players trying to react to it quickly. You can slow down and let the players out from the enemy team go forward and get hit, which we did see Popov do right there. Kind of just destroyed any momentum that Scar could get into that top 3. Any holding that top 3, Liam pulling shrooms from the bottom spots and able to catch up. It's just been any, this entire war. BUZ have got to try and do something now if they want to get back into it. I know the scoreline, it's still very early, however, we've seen what NE does with momentum, and when they have momentum, they run with it, and they thrive off of it. So, BUZ needs a desperate answer sooner rather than later to get themselves back into this war.
Yeah, we see NE carrying the momentum from the last war. You know, we talked about for a brief moment that MC race being inconsequential, but that could very well turn out to be one of the more consequential races in this match, as it kept NE's momentum. BUZ, just like the war, it was like a war all in one race. BUZ, they had top 5. They were looking so good. They were looking to win that MC race, and out of nowhere came NE, taking them all out and getting the top 5. And that momentum continues. We go on to Desert Hills. Another very, very interesting track in this game. Cool track, as it looks like a hard bagger. In other games that it was in, it was a hard bagger. But you could run this. There's a lot of different no-item shortcuts you could take to save speed. Obviously, a golden mushroom is king on this track, but you could make it work in the front. As we see BUZ attempting to run, they have top 2 early. They're sending a lot of players up, but Cormo is behind them with triple greens. Let's see what he can do. Are the BUZ players sitting ducks for his snipes, or will he end up taking out maybe one of his teammates instead? We do see Tyson getting clipped by a stray green, and Hammers coming out from Valor and taking out another BUZ player, and now BUZ is all alone in front. They have a kingdom, but their kingdom has forsaken their one man up top. Popoff and Liam are bearing down on Liam in a star. We see Lolam DR in a star, Yoshiro in a dodge as well. I don't think either team will want to use shock right now, as all the players are in dodges. As we go on to lap 3, Yoshiro uses his horn to protect himself, but doesn't end up getting Pop-Off. This is the second time now he's narrowly missed Pop-Off with his horn. We see a bomb bouncing around. This is chaos for both teams. Which team will come out on top of the chaos of lap 3?
I mean, the bottom 3's rotated. It was BUZ lap 1, NE at the bottom 3 at the end of lap 2. It's going to be a case of who gets the power items and who is able to take these final cuts well as we do see it. Oh, Gold! He's not opting to risk. Yoshiro will, though. He hits the wall strat. Yoshiro holding down first. Gold getting second. A few NE players in the back. Confirmed last, though, for BUZ. However, let's see how the mid-pack tells the story. Top 2, 5, 8, 10, 12. It's good. It gets them back in it. It gives them a little bit of momentum, but it's not exactly what BUZ wanted. I think only an 8-point different race there. NE still in the driver's seat at the moment, unless BUZ are able to take the momentum from this race, from the few front spots that they got, and are able to carry it into something much greater.
It was looking like such a good race from BUZ. They had a lot of high spots, but just at the end, NE swooped in with their golden mushrooms, their mega mushrooms, their stars, and they took a lot of the lower mid spots and turned it from a great race into merely a good race for BUZ. However, that is progress. We're only, I think, 4 races into finals. 3? 3 or 4?
That was the fourth. We are
That was
going
the
into
fourth.
race 5 right now.
Yeah, it's right on the bottom left of the screen. I see it now. I was
Listen,
completely blanking on it.
math is hard and numbers are hard too. Don't worry.
Exactly. However, that is good momentum. They've got 7 more races to catch up, and 48 is not a big lead in Mario Kart. We saw at the end of last match, NE changing a 20-point lead into a 96-point lead in just 2 races. And we see BUZ picking Shy Guy Bazaar. I talked about earlier how NE getting a big win on this is a huge psychological advantage on this track, but hopefully for the sake of BUZ, they have Goldfish that race. It's completely out of their memories. You know, they are thinking, we're picking this track, we're better on it. Confidence is key in this game, and BUZ will be going onto this race with a lot of confidence, but let's see if NE can ruin that confidence they have.
I mean, Yoshira making the rail strat very strong for them. Liam behind. Liam might be able to cause a lag draft that could bump Yoshira off, however. Just looks to be Yoshira calmly taking those coins, acquiring what he needs to get himself into first place. He knows that NE is behind him and do have the chance to kill. However, Liam taking the same strat as him, meaning he most likely does. I speak too soon, as he does have triple greens, and Yoshira is forced to drive off the track as we see NE early top 2, maybe even a top 3. Yoshira now just having to play from the back. Maybe try and pull a dodge, or maybe try and use this golden to go up and find a prime opportunity to kind of
Triple reds from Valor.
Any lacking.
Valor's triple reds in front of him on rail. This is going to be so scary. He opts to go around turn skip because he thinks Valor's going to go for it and back him, but Valor doesn't go for turn skip. He opts to go the slower path, slows down, takes out a player, gets redded for his efforts, but he is so happy with that, as look at the break. Top 2 have top 3. Now, there's nothing taking out those top 2 players short of a shock. You can't reach them. They're out of touch of hammers. They're out of touch of greens. This looks so good for NE as Yoshira gets hit off, and it goes from bad to worse on the side of BUZ. Pop-Up has a high dodge. Starler's in a dodge now. Pop-Up will undoubtedly go into dodge after. If BUZ has a shock, it's not going to be any good. They didn't know Pop-Up was in a ghost right there. He was out of sight. Shock happened, but BUZ are still bottom 6 pretty much. What can they do to break this tops?
There's not much really. You try to use the shock. Lauren DR just comfortably in first. Liam, who was up with him, no longer up there, but Liam kind of just did his job of being the meat shield for Lol MDR. BUZ having a couple bills come up. They're mainly just going to have to cushion this race with the mid spots that they could get. I would be very surprised to see Lol MDR lose first. Yoshira backed off the rail, pretty much confirmed last this race. Blue Shell to come at the end. It's not going to do much at all. Yoshira off to see the sights. Bless his little heart. Can't do much, but NE top 2 again from the looks of the minimap. A lot of BUZ in the mid pack. 3, 4, 7, 8, 9. It's something they can work with. However, it's not something they can work with score wise, as NE now go up again. A 12-point race for them as they are up. I believe that to be 60 points. 60 points now as we enter the end of the first half. Every attempt that BUZ has had to try and get momentum back into this match, NE has just been snatching it away. It's a complete different showing from the first match. Not to discredit BUZ, but to credit NE in their ability to just see what teams are trying to work with and just take it away from them immediately. Can be demoralizing to play against. So it's a case of BUZ seeing whether they can hold onto just any grasp of hope, any mental that they can muster up, and see if they can just bring anything to the table going into this race 6.
It's do or die right now for BUZ, and we will be seeing in 7 races time whether it was do or whether it was die. They need to find a way back into this match. They've split their picks, unfortunately for them, but it didn't matter as NE gets their pick. I think if BUZ wants to make their way into this match, they need to start throwing everything at the wall, seeing what sticks. We saw last race when their backs against the wall, they picked DK Spaceport, a very underappreciated track. You know, it's not seen much. probably for good reason. I don't think it should be appreciated that much, but they picked that. I think they need to pull out more of that, more of these weird tracks that maybe NE haven't played as much. Obviously, every player in this lobby is going to know every track like the back of their hand, but you know, maybe some people a little more contoured hands than others, and BUZ needs to find their advantage in that, as it looks to be them 2, 3, 4 behind the player in 1. Yoshira using the start early, taking out the NE players. I really like this. Shock is uncommon. We've barely seen any shocks this war. Use your start early, use it to maintain and get good spots, but it seems like an NE player in the front has done the same, and NE are now top 2 in this race. BUZ are going to struggle to take away their top presence here.
The thing about Airship Fortress as well, unfortunate Red for Yoshira, able to stay on the rail, meaning he is able to keep his front spots. However, Airship Fortress is a weird one. You can hold down your front spots on this track really well. There's hardly any shortcuts that you can do. Great red from Yoshira, but NE now only in top 2. However, the bullet bill extension on the final spiral turn going into the last turn before the lap transition is really, really powerful.
Here comes the Kamek in the spiral.
Could be lethal. Barely makes it. Oh, but the bomb.
Where did that come from?
I think Tyson might have accidentally dropped it, that, or it was a sneakily placed bomb. The Ghost not being able to affect with items. Second place must have just dropped it, as we see NE top 2 have a huge lead. Yoshira slowing down a little bit. Maybe they have shock. Maybe BUZ has shock. Maybe Yoshira trying to grab something in the back. As they are bottom 2, I think Pop-Off and the rest of NE kind of just accepting if they have shock, we've got to play around it. He has a bill in 6th, whether he's able to use it or not, though, is a different story.
Don't think that shock, if it is in play, is going to affect much. That top 2 is so far gone, and with Pop-Off having a bill in 5, it's going to be a top 3 shortly. Things go from bad to worse for BUZ. Honestly, this might just be the match right now if BUZ lets it affect them. We see Bape shrooming up, salvages a little bit of the damage. BUZ had shock this whole time and they couldn't use it. Despite the shock, they still get 3 of bottom 4 right there, with NE getting a top 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. It's going to be another big race, and 6 races in, that is such a big gap. 80 points. It's 2 full races. NE could not show up for the next 2 races and the match would be level. BUZ wouldn't even be winning. That is so mentally hard to come back from. But second half of the war, maybe it's a new story. Maybe BUZ can write their names in history and overcome this deficit. The lights are shining brighter and brighter for BUZ. Will they rise up to the occasion, or will they let the lights blind them? Let's see in these final 6 races.
It'll be interesting to see what BUZ's strategy is now. I honestly think if I was in BUZ, you go unorthodox, you go crazy, you pick the DK Spaceport, the thing that worked, you pick the Acorn Heights, you pick the stuff that worked from match 1 and just see if it's able to stick in this match, because they have very confident races on DK Spaceport, on Acorn Heights as well, but nothing just seems to be working for them. The Shy Guy Bazaar, we saw NE win that match 1, they tried to pick it to outmuscle NE this time around, it failed. We see DK pass again. This is another one that NE was confident on and was able to get the win on. So, but who knows? We know that we said the shock is uncommon. We have seen the shock a bit this war. We saw it on Shy Guy Bazaar. We saw it at the end of Airship Fortress. We did see it last war on this track as well. From the side of NE though, if BUZ is able to try and get a shock in this race and use it more beneficial to them than NE, then maybe we can see a swing around.
Yes, we see Pop-Off slowing down early to get triple shrooms, but misses the box and gets trailed out by Yoshira for his efforts. Tyson slowed down, does have those shrooms, will be able to use them to catch up. Pop-Off will be relying on the next box he gets. Dodges the snowball. But it looks to be a lot of BUZ bearing down on that first place from NE. If that first place player, Valor, does not have triple shrooms, he is in trouble. Pop-Off with a perfect pull right there, can use this to catch up well into the race. Lots of cuts right here. Lots of time that can be lost by not taking the cuts on this track. We see Valor did end up having a shroom in 1, maintains his first, and here come Pop-Off and Liam to give support. BUZ players are falling down and down the order. One of them is stopping for shock. It will be interesting to see if either team can pull it. We see LoMDR getting hit out, but Liam is still up there. Valor is still up there. The snowball comes and takes out Tyson. Pop-off shrooms up here. He still has his Mega Mushroom. Will he use it early, or will he use it to take out the BUZ players right here? Let's see as we head into the end of lap 2.
I mean, looking from the back, it's Liam. Liam still has his shroom, whether we don't know whether he has a dodge in pocket or not. Pop-off's going to need to use this Mega now. Shock from the NE perspective, the Baby Mario Link last having it. However, you're kind of just using that shock to make sure that Pop-Up secures first. Valor also
Valor
being
dodge
able to dodge. Confirming a top 2, it's now just going to be a case of whether the rest of NE can catch up. BUZ just going to have to play for mid spots or miraculous miracle triple red pull that can be pulled from 3rd place. However, bait with triple greens at the moment doesn't look like it's going to be the case. NE bottom 2 at the moment with BUZ catching up in Bills, and that bottom 2 is far gone. However, one of them's coming up in Bill. BUZ still 3-4. Babe not being able to do anything. Cormo coming up with shrooms. All of BUZ coming up with power items as well. Coin shell, single shroom for Yoshiro, not what you want to see to try and catch up at the end. They were able to keep a little bit of NE in the back. Cormo dying at line, meaning they at least get probably bottom 2 from NE. BUZ holding at least a lot of the mid spots, but top 2 from NE with that shock is all they really need, and the 4-5 to accompany it as well. BUZ needs a miracle.
Yeah.
BUZ needs a miracle this next race, and it doesn't even matter if it's mathematically over or not. If they don't do anything next race, I guarantee you NE has just won the entire series, because they are NE is developing a mountain for BUZ to try and climb back into this war, as the differential is almost 3 digits.
Yeah, this is looking tough. NE have taken that momentum from the first match, and it's just continued. It's been the same story for BUZ ever since race 11. It's been such a struggle, and you have to imagine, it's wearing them down. They have the skill to bring this back. It would take a lot of luck, but they have the skill to get 5 consecutive plus 20s. Which would be enough to win it. But do they have the fortitude to do that? And do they have the luck to do that as well? There is a luck element to this game. I think it's been pretty even on the luck side so far, but they need to get some crazy luck and have some crazy good plays if they want to bring this back. We see Nemesis making very, very smart plays right there. That shock was just used for their top 2. That's all they cared about. They knew they guaranteed top 2. It's not going to be a bad race. They've got a lead. They're just protecting it. And they also trusted their teammates. Like, hey, we guaranteed top 2. We don't have to worry about them. We're going to spend all our resources getting the rest of the spots. And the rest of their team just came through. And it was a fantastic race for them. It was a textbook race by NE, showing their experience. All of these players on the side of NE, I believe, having won D1 before, and are very likely to add another title to their storied resumes each. Although we see BUZ once again on Acorn Heights. They've been trying to pick it a lot. They haven't got it yet. Are now here. Yoshira with a Nana, but has to lose it so he doesn't take out his teammate. Goes for backup strat so he doesn't end up bumping out his teammate. Can he make this cut with only 1 coin? It's very tough. He's a little too low, but he clips the inside wall. I didn't know that was a thing. I'm learning so much here, and this is the top 3 right now for BUZ. We see them drafting into each other and taking each other all out. That is tragic for BUZ. They're still top 2, but you have to imagine that looked to be such a great position for the team bumps.
They need to be making those risky plays, though, because they do need some good races to come eventually. Yoshira taking the blue over the gap to try and scare some of the NE players from not taking it, but now just finding himself in the back where the shock is in play already. Gold is holding nothing. Could presume that to be a golden, could presume that to be a mega, could presume that to be shock. Could be anything that he is holding. However, NE's now finding themselves into the front spots once again. That front presence that BUZ had on lap 1 meaning practically nothing as they are going into the final lap. It's going to need either a miraculous set of items from BUZ or a miraculous shock from them to try and get them to claw their way back. We do see Oxy with the Reds in fourth place. 3rd place is his teammate though, as 2-3-4 is occupied by BUZ. Pop-off just holding this mega for the end. Gonna try and see if he can cause some late game chaos. Try and maybe predict a BUZ shock to try and swing the momentum.
Yeah, Oxy's gonna have a hard time here. He's been having a hard time all war, but he's surrounded by megas right now. He can't use the Reds because his teammates are in front. Pop-off's coming, but maybe Oxy could get this back off on Pop-off. Pop-off electing to go behind him, but I guess the lag is making it so we can't see him. Popoff does get clipped by something, but once again, this looks to be, a neutral race in the favor of Nemesis. It's not a big win for BUZ. It's in fact a very strong race for Nemesis. And as we have 4 races left now, and 106-point lead, it's gone from dire to, I can't even think of a word worse than dire. I'm running out of words to describe BUZ's situation. It's that rough right now. I don't know. They need something. They need power to go out in France at this point. It feels like the entire country of France. Then they have to beat Liam in a 1v6, and it's even possible Liam takes that 1v6 home because the lead is that big. It's crazy. It's so hard.
1 GP left, down 106. You pretty much need 2 top 4s, a top and 2 top 5 races to try and get back into this from the side of BUZ. It's not entirely impossible, but with how NE have been playing this war, it could be curtains. However, mathematically, it's still on the cards. They need to fight back now. If NE, though, is able to get a plus 14 or stronger race going from this race right now, this BUZ Cinema race, then they will be declared your D1 champions. BUZ Cinema, as I've referred to it again, BUZ Casino, the ending, very, very strong. You can run it, maybe Vela, hoping that he is able just to break away in the front spots. His mates behind him being able to pull shrooms as well, which are very powerful at the start. Whether Shock gets pulled here will be a different story. We didn't see one last time when this track was played. It's going to be a case of BUZ, all or nothing right now. All or nothing for them, with Popoff leading in a good position. He has the triple shrooms. Unfortunately gets hit out by the greens, but still having the shrooms to recover and aggro his way back up into the front. Tyson, never mind, different player dying. Tyson still in 4th, Popoff in 5th. Some offensive items. Scar's able to take out Vela. The bomb lagging with the explosion, and it's top 2 for BUZ at the moment. 3, 4, 5 for NE, but top 2 just simply won't cut it for BUZ. They need more up there, as top 4 currently has a massive breakaway from the rest of the pack.
BUZ need to pull Shock, and they need to have 4 players of their team dodge that Shock. Right now, we see a lot of their players, they all slowed down quite a bit to go for dodges. It does seem like they're working with the same game plan. Popoff goes tight on to the inner spiral, loses a bit of time, and hits his teammate's green shell. We see a top 2 break for BUZ. They're putting themselves in a good position to benefit from Shock with top 2, which they have lost, unfortunately, but a very high player. And then a lot of bottoms with dodges. They could benefit huge from Shock, but this blue is tragic. We see Yoshira getting redded and then ballooned. And right now, we see NE in top 3. BUZ are making their way up. If they all have dodges and they have a Shock, it's doable. We see Yoshira with a dodge, but gets backed on the rail. He gets forced into his dodge, and you have to think BUZ are going to use Shock now. If they have it, they're not going to leave out Yoshira to dry, but it's not coming. This is looking like the end of the road for BUZ. The winner takes it all, and it looks like that winner might just be NE. We're potentially 15 seconds away from seeing the crowning of a new dynasty of Division 1 champions. Oxy is making his way up. We see Yoshira making his way up, but Shock comes from NE. Starlo dodges up high, and I think that might be it. I think this might be the crowning of NE. They win Division 1, and it might not be enough. It might be possible still. I might have jumped the gun.
I think even regardless,
I jumped the gun. It's possible. BUZ could do it. BUZ could do the craziest story ever. I'm gonna hold out hope for that. I'm gonna put that energy out there. It's possible.
You can project your energy, my friend. Me, I'm seeing a completely different story. It's that Shock from NE is not what BUZ wanted in the slightest. Was able to secure them a top 3, which is all they need. It is borderline. It's not impossible. We have seen crazy things happen in this game before. I'd like to be proven wrong, but 2 top 6s and a top 5 8, I believe, being the absolute minimum that BUZ need to get themselves back into this match to take it to a game 3. You don't just chain races like that back to back to back, especially in this game. We saw Annie was able to do it last war, but of course, the Mario Bros. Circuit race was the final dagger for that, and the Mario Circuit race was just them celebrating their win, and it's coming to Rainbow. Oh, BUZ have been in this position before. But if you don't know, BUZ was playing against Ronrons last week. Ronrons was in the opportunity to top 6 and try and take the war back for them to go through to finals. BUZ still cling on and was able to hold on despite the fact that Ronrons did get a top 5. Whether BUZ is able to repeat the scenes from last week in their favor, in them having a top 5 or a top 6, will be a different story. However, this is a long track. A lot can happen in the 4 minutes that this track usually takes to play out online. We can see multiple shocks. Multiple shocks are very possible on this race. Yoshira pushing up. A lot of just BUZ killing NE, which is good to start off with. It's a good foundation. However, it's not going to matter too much until pretty much after this water section, where a lot of the spots kind of get established and settled unless a shot comes in.
This track is so hard to get a perfect race on. It's just so long, which cuts out a lot of the variance. And to get a perfect race, you do need a lot of variance. You need a very well-timed shock. But on a track like this, you know, if you use your shock early, the opposing team has time to catch up. However, if you use shock late, it's very likely you will have, you know, at least 2 players too far behind to be able to capitalize from that shock. Very likely the person who pulled that shock. And so this track back alone looks so good for NE. You know, some people are calling it BM. Oh, they want to make them, you know, win a long range track. But no, this is NE taking their opponent serious. This is NE wanting to win this match. They know that it is their best likelihood, even if BUZ get insanely lucky, play a perfect race, you know, like, it's probably not enough still. BUZ could do everything right, and it might not even be enough on a track like this. We do see Yoshira does get a trail out. Popoff is trying to trail him in
so
return.
much aggression, even in the front of the pack, as NE now claim the top 2.
They do indeed. We're heading on to lap number 3. The shortcut right here is the last one until the very end of the track. Usually whichever players are in front after this cut will maintain their first for quite a long time. Popoff does have a feather. He can take the cut with it. Yes. Shock hasn't come. Shock has come. And that looks good for BUZ. However, all the NE players were able to take the cut before Shock, so they maintain their top presence. Scar needs to start pulling greens, and he needs to land every single one of the greens he pulls right now. We see Popoff with a horn that is great protection, even if BUZ puts an unavoidable back in by the nature of his item. Popoff might be able to avoid it, but he uses the horn. He gets another one. I think he's just trying to take out Scar. We see some BUZ players very, very far behind. They are building up. It might be possible, but it's looking very, very tough as we head into lap 4, potentially the last lap of the season.
Scar in the front is not enough. BUZ need people up there, and they need people up there now. They might be banking on a second shock. Who knows? NE playing very, very aggressive. Popoff with a round could do some absolute damage. Scar not being able to react to it with how close they are. Popoff in first. BUZ is going to be praying for that second shock and being able to try and target shock as many as NE as possible. NE might even play it safe. It might just go around. They understand that they do not need a huge win to secure their D1 championship, as it is Popoff and Lolendia.
Here comes the blue.
Blue takes so long to catch up on this section, though. It doesn't matter. As tries to go this strat and going for the blue.
Yoshira goes too low. That is going to be the end of BUZ's season for sure. I held out hope, but this is not comebackable. We will see the crowning of a new Division 1 champion from NE. and time will tell. Will it be a new dynasty similar to one such as Bree, such as World Friend that these players have done before, or will it be a flash in the pan? The rest of the D1 teams will be egging to take their championship next season, but for now and right now, it is NE's win and NE win alone. Congratulations to them on this D1 title. What an effort, what a comeback in the first match, and what a dominant star-making win from them in this match too.
It was looking it was looking impossible from the end of the BUZ Cinema race. It is now practically impossible. Now I think the BUZ players, as we see Yoshira on the character select screen, they're gonna go have fun with it. They made it all the way. They understand that they can't win. Never mind. He thought about it though. We thought we were gonna see Kevin, but Kevin is no more. But yeah, these final two races, one of the players on the Penguin. But yeah, just massive props to any. They definitely BUZ looked like they could have had it. They looked like they could have gone crazy in this race. Oh, is this an intermission? Is any pulling out the intermissions?
Oh, come on. That's not on. I still don't think it's possible to win even with the intermission pick with 2 races to
No,
go.
it's already curtains. Any wouldn't
But
be pulling stuff like this if it
that's
wasn't
bad
curtains.
sportsmanship. We do see an any player DC
That was Liam.
potentially. If that DC was because they went to free roam, that could be a 50-point penalty, but I doubt that is the case. I doubt they're
Extremely doubt. No, absolutely not.
But this isn't what you want to see at the end of the day, unfortunately. You know, maybe you never want to see this. You know, if you're playing, if you've got the win, it's best just to show good sportsmanship. You know, take the win, play out the match. But we do go on to this track. I do believe the NE players are favored on this track. They do play a lot more 24p, but Scar is known for being a 24p main. He could get a big result here as we see him go into the lead early. LOL MDR is coming up. Yoshira behind in second. Pulls out triple nanos on LOL MDR. Can he take him out? Yes, he can. And we go now to the end of the lap. Yoshira is in a world of pain right now, but the Mega goes wide. There's a bomb in the cut. We see Any in top 2 as we head on to the Ghost Valley section. Lots of really, really cool shortcuts here that hopefully we can see the players pull off. I do wish to see intermissions being played in 12p, you know, sparingly, as part of the rules, of course, that one day. Maybe this could be a showcase of why it worked. This does look like a close race. Pop-Off is gone in 1. Can he get the Nisk in 1, or will he fail it? Yoshira opts to go around the Nisk. It is very, very risky, very, very hard to do. And if you do fail it, you will sink into the purple goop, into the mud, whatever it is. But
that is just any top 2 now.
Yeah,
first place has
it is
an extreme breakaway. Liam catching up with the popcorn that you presume he pulled at the little van right there. Yoshira just trying to hold it down in third. Blue comes out very late. The pack. This isn't like a BUZ Cinema pack. You can tell an intermission has been played because the pack is so widespread. But there comes the shock. Looks to be a BUZ shock. You see a couple of them catching up. Yeah,
Golden Kid dodges the red. He's on Kevin. He's coming in. But we do see it's looking like NE are maintaining that lead. There is a skill gap on intermissions, and there's a knowledge gap as well. And we saw that NE, they knew the cuts, and they were able to establish that strong lead. BUZ, a lot of players in the back. However, it is just garbage time. The players aren't playing for pride. Maybe a little bit of practice for next season, as we will undoubtedly see both these teams at the top level for many, many seasons to come.
I mean, listen, if anything, BUZ just used this match as motivation. They've proven that they've won D2 Championship. They've proven that they belong a spot in D1 Finals. Matches like this, they need to go into the off season with, know what they need to work on to go into matches, future seasons of Atlas League, to ensure that matches like this doesn't happen. Hey, yo, that penguin tweaking. That penguin on some madness right now. But I think all the players are having at least some lighthearted fun in it. Of course, we don't see intermissions in 12 player because of the fact that you do get penalized, but I think all the players are trying to have a little bit of good fun despite the picks. A bunch, what is it? I don't think any intermission picks are on the, okay, never mind, I say that and then we see Rainbow Road again. We're not here for another 5 minutes. We are going to Great Question Block Ruins as the final race. Despite that though, any still your champions. Yeah, all the character switches are from BUZ. We see a Pianta, we see 3 penguins, a fishbone, a nabbit. They're just trying to have fun with it, trying to just remind themselves that we made it this far, we deserve to be here. Second place, despite the barrage that Any put on today. It's honestly not bad for BUZ's first season in D1, which you've got to commend. First season in D1, 6-4, making it all the way to semifinals, having one of the closest semifinals ties in recent history, and then going out and putting in that phenomenal first match when they were able to hold momentum before Any was just able to take it away and run with it. So, if anything, props to BUZ. You've got to give BUZ their flowers for how well they've done this season.
They have, and they will be back, undoubtedly. Losing like this, it's heartbreaking. It really, really hurts. And it's going to serve as motivation for next season. Maybe even that intermission pick is more fuel on the fire. Realizing, wait, these guys are not taking us seriously. We have an advantage for next season. We're just going to show up out of nowhere and destroy them. So we could very well see a crazy grind. We do have a lot of time before the next Atlas season. However, in just a month, we have a 12P bracket tournament coming up, which I'm very excited for. We'll see some stars being made. This is a chance for any team to win. Any single team in that tournament is capable of winning. And every single time one of these comes around, we see a team go on a run and make a name for themselves. So I can't wait. Maybe we'll see some team who we never ever thought of beating BUZ or Any in that tournament. Maybe it could be your team. Maybe it could be my team. You never know. So I'm very, very looking forward to that. See Any on a little bit of a victory lap right now. Pop-Off and Lul MDR gone in top 2. Yoshira on Kevin is in 4th. Liam behind. I think he's just trying to green him out. Maybe a little bit of pride. But Liam has a red, so it's a little bit risky. And he's in his back cam. Fails to see all the nanas. Liam does notice them. This turns into a top 4 right now on the side of Nemesis. And this race has just been the story of this match. It's been NE. Maybe a good start for BUZ. They were in a good spot. But NE just found an extra gear, another lever. And they have dominated. A 90-point win in the first match, followed by over 140 points in the second match. Maybe a little bit less after penalties, but well-deservedly, NE are your Division 1 Atlas champions.
Congratulations once again to NE. BUZ, Scar holding it down to ensure that they don't get fridged twice in this final series, but massive congrats to NE. Commiserations to BUZ, but congratulations on making it to the finals as well. A lot of matches still going on. A couple more matches rounding out as well. Your Division 2 champion has been decided. JJ go 2-0 in that series. RK goes 2-0 versus Dynamite in D4. D8 will actually go to a match 3, Only Friends versus Race in the Space. That is a 1-1 at the moment. Blaha Orchard versus Sunshine Shadow. I apologize if I butchered the name of that completely. I don't know Swedish. 2-0 to the Orchids. 2-0 there. D16. Equilibrium 2-0 over their opponent. I believe D14 also got wrapped up as well earlier. Let me just quickly double check that. No, we're still waiting on the result from D14. However, Dry Shell are one game up over After Party. I believe D15 finals are done as well. Zephron winning over RK6. So despite RK6 not being able to bring home the gold, RK2 and D4 at least able to do that. But we have a lot of results coming in left, right, and center. We'd love to talk about them. Dry Shell winning over After Party. We just got an update on that. But as a reminder, there's still going to be a lot more matches going on later today. So congrats to all the established winners so far. And but mainly for this cast specifically, congrats to NE for winning D1. Commiserations to BUZ once again, but very strong showing from them. It's been a pleasure to cast this match, Top Hat. I think you can say the same. Some phenomenal races that we had go on our screen that we all got to witness. So
Yeah, absolutely. It was a blast. Thank you to everyone in the chat who tuned in, watched the match, gave support to both the teams, gave support to us. The chat alive, makes this so worth it. Seeing the proof that everyone is there, everyone's so interested in these matches. A special, humongous shout out to Milkshake, who was our stream host today. His Twitch is linked in the chat. It's twitch.tv/milkshake. Man, he streams a lot. He's very good at it, as no doubt seen in this prime time. He was responsible for everything that wasn't us speaking in this match. It's so good. He'll be streaming Mogies. He is very close to Saf, might have even hit it already. Great player. If you guys want to watch great gameplay, follow Milkshake Mans on Twitch. Congratulations to every single team that won Atlas today. Best of luck to the teams who are playing a match 3. We will be raiding one of those such teams shortly. But I think that's all for us now. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Have a great day, have a great night, depending on where you are. And we will see you for more prime times in the bracket tournament and NKWC.
here's for watching, fellas.